All right, so for number one, we're saying in at least one ill-considered popularizations of interesting current research, it is argued that higher apes have the capacity for language, but have never put it to use. Okay, so we're saying that apes have the ability to use language, but don't put it to use. A remarkable biological miracle, given the enormous selection advantage of even minimal linguistic skills. So we're saying like, hey, if they were to have this, this is a huge advantage. There's even a huge advantage of having like minimal linguistic skills. Okay. It is rather like claiming that at least one animal has wings adequate for flight, but is never thought to fly. All right, so we're comparing here that apes not using their skill of language is the same thing as if animals were able to have this crazy cool skill like flying and not being and never actually using it. So it's like, why would I have this? Like, if I have this ability, like if I was a superhero and I could do whatever, it's crazy to think that someone would have this ability and wouldn't want to actually use it if they could. So we're going to look for something similar to that. So A says, arguing that there are some humans who never sleep is rather like discovering a species of lion that does not eat meat. No, because we're not talking about like humans who never sleep. Like that's not saying like we're not talking about like this unique skill that people have. Like we're talking about like apes never using the capacity of language. Like humans do sleep. So it's not A. B says, arguing that Earth has been visited by aliens from outer space is rather like claiming that early explorers had visited North America but never founded cities. No, because um we're not comparing someone not like once again, we're looking for that apes. If apes were to have this language, that's like saying that animals that have wings aren't flying. So not B. C says, arguing that human brain has telekinetic powers that no human has ever exercised. Oh, I like this so far because we're talking about we have this like unique power that we're not using, is rather like arguing that some insects has legs but never uses them to walk. Yes, I really like this one because we're talking about like, hey, saying that someone has this crazy cool thing but doesn't use it is like this basic thing of, yeah, insects, if they have legs, they're going to use them to walk. So I really like C. D says, claiming that some people raised tobacco but did not smoke it is rather like claiming that a society that knew how to brew alcohol never drank. No, that's not going to be what we're looking for. Um, because that honestly, I feel like that could be true, right? And we're not, and once again, we're really looking for that really cool thing that we're trying to argue that you did. And just the idea that you have stuff but don't use. So the tobacco and alcohol is not quite the same as like this this innate ability, like language and flight in our original argument. And that's also why E is going to be wrong as well, because it says arguing that not all people with cars will drive them is rather like the humans invented gasoline long before they used it as a fuel for transportation. Once again, we're not talking about us having things, we're talking about an ability that we have. And just because people with cars and saying that people that have cars that don't drive them, we're not comparing that to this thing that similar to animals that had adequate flight have never thought to fly. So E is going to be wrong for the same reason, and that's why our answer is going to be C. If you miss this one, don't feel bad. I feel like this, honestly, I feel like even though this says it's an easier question, I feel like this is a very odd parallel, and it's really just hanging on to that idea of, ooh, this innate ability compared to this basic ability. And that's why C's our answer.